This episode, a little too scripted for me. Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Belle Collective, Season 3, Episode 4, Boys to Men. Interesting title because I'm trying to figure out why they named it Boys to Men, but okay. So we start off the episode with So Gucci and JJ, and JJ's mother is moving into the house. And I'm sorry, this scene just seemed so fake to me. It just seemed like everyone had this dream in the past of becoming a Chitlin Circuit gospel play actor, and they wanted to fulfill that moment on this show. That would include all of them: JJ's mother, JJ, and So Gucci. It just seems so not realistic, so fake. It almost looked like they all wanted to laugh at each other, okay? So next we have Latrice. She goes out with Cliff and she apologizes for not telling him she was going out. And here's the thing, I actually agree with that. I feel like in a relationship or just in general, you should definitely let someone know where you're going, period. Now, there is a difference between letting someone know, hey, I'm about to go out with such and such, versus asking for permission. So I don't know if it's a situation where Cliff expects for her to ask for permission. But in a situation where simply Latrice needs to say, hey, I'm going out to M Bar or whatever the case may be, just to let him know, I don't see anything wrong with that. Actually, I would actually prefer that myself. I think that's on both sides, though. A husband or a significant other should tell their significant other that, yes, I'm going out here. But, but he actually says that it was more so about that she went out with Josh because he had just kicked Josh out of the house. And for him, that was public enemy number one at that point. So with that, he was like pretty much implying that she shouldn't have went out with him because of the fact that he kicked him out. Which I was just like, okay, I don't know. Again, I can understand him saying, let me know when you're going somewhere. But I don't know if he means like you need to get permission from me because you're about to go out with the enemy. So I expect for you to ask me if it's okay to go out with him. So with that, Latrice says Cliff treats her like she is his daughter. And I mean, Latrice, he's twice your age. What did you expect? And then Cliff says Latrice has a communication issue, which I actually agree, and I spoke on this before. But at the same time, while she's talking, Cliff keeps cutting her off. So how do you expect for her to communicate if you keep cutting her off? But let him tell it. Text message is another way for them to communicate. But I mean, damn, you guys are married, so you should be able to talk verbally to each other versus via text. But okay. So Latrice wants him to treat her like she's an equal. And Latrice, you should establish that type of stuff before you marry someone, sweetheart. I mean, come on. Like, you want him to treat you like an equal now? Like, that should have been something that should have been established. And if that was a deal breaker for you, like, I just don't see how you expect for this man to change now that you're married to him. It doesn't work that way. But okay. So Gucci, Akeisha, and Marie meet and they catch up and talk about their personal drama. But Akeisha is like unbothered with their drama, especially the situation with Letitia. And we'll explain why a little bit later, for those who probably haven't seen the previous season. So Crazy Glenn and Cliff meet up and they have their man, I helped make you moment, I made you moment. I'm the maker up in this bitch type of manhood situation. You know, they went into that mode of I'm the reason why you are successful the way that you are, Letitia and Latrice. I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. So, anywho, with that, then he says, Crazy Glenn says that he put a recorder slash tracker in Letitia's car and then says, Cliff, man, this is between me and you. Fool, you have a camera in your face. It's between all of us at this point. What in the hell made you think seriously that you're going to say, Cliff, but this is between me and you? How? How? You have a camera in your face. So this is why I'm saying this episode to me seemed like a filler episode with a lot of, just filler and just make believe acting bullshit that was going on, not really realistic scenes. So yeah, he pretty much tells Cliff that he put a tracker in her car. And that's how he found out about the condo situation. And Cliff is trying to tell him that, look, it sounds like she wants to be single. Okay. And Glenn claims that he's sexually frustrated. And Cliff, for some reason, started talking to him about putting on a dress. Look, I don't know the real deep South Southern slang. I don't understand what that reference was about, but I guess maybe it's a deep Delta Southern thing. I don't know. But with that, he claims that, Glenn says, look, I know I messed up and I can't tell Letitia how fast to heal, but he claims that the crime he committed doesn't fit the time that Letitia is giving him. Actually, it does, sir. You cheated on her, and it was possible that you got that girl pregnant. Now, granted, the test says that that's not your child, but at the same time, you can't tell her how long to grieve in that process. So, Latrice's mom comes over, and pretty much Latrice's mom tells her the truth about how, Latrice hasn't lived her life yet. Instead of her living her life, going to school, living it up in her 20s or whatever the case may be, she became a housewife. And Latrice says that she feels like she dims her light for her husband. That's a bad sign. When you say that you dim your light for your husband. And here's the thing. In Latrice's confessionals, you can tell she sees her issues. She gives the comparison constantly about her relationship is like similar to her mother and father's relationship. And she pretty much says that, she kind of married her father, which her father was apparently abusive. So my thing is, if you can see it and you can recognize it, what is keeping you there? You clearly know you're not in the best situation. And when you feel like you have to dim your light, that's bad. But of course, her mother tells her that, but she says, Mom, I got it. And it's like, again, she has to figure this out on her own. So I wish her the best. So Akeisha meets with her mom. And in this scene, we get more details about her past and how she is her father's love child outside of his marriage. And her aunt actually became her mom. And how they suggested, I guess her father's side of the family suggested to her biological mom about, the Holly side of the family adopting her father's side. But I'm kind of curious to know why her biological mother couldn't care for her or why she allowed them to adopt her. Kind of curious about that. Like, I would like to hear more of that story also. I mean, it's obvious that she was in good hands because her aunt is a very established and well educated woman. But at the same time, I want to know more about that because something is there, and Akeisha definitely still is kind of hurt by, I guess, her past and the fact that she became so annoyed and almost was like deading Letitia over what Letitia said last season. Because Letitia said last season that's why, her own family didn't want her, which was so freaking messed up. Like, there's no way around it. And I'm sorry, like I constantly say, if you're willing to go that low when we get into an argument, you've always felt that way and you've always wanted to say that. So the fact that she still to this day doesn't really deal with Letitia because of that, there's something there. And I want to know more, if possible, about, that side of Akeisha's story. because it definitely seems like, it still hurts her still to this day. And honestly, I'm kind of curious, did Letitia apologize to Akeisha last reunion? I don't think she did. I don't think she apologized for that statement. And I'm curious to see if someone's going to finally address it this season. But you guys let me know below if she did address it in the last reunion, because I don't think she did. And I don't think she apologized to Akeisha, which is pretty messed up. So, child, Glenn is in the studio thinking that he's Gucci Man. And no, hell no. And so he claims he's trying to make a song for his wife, and they give a flashback of how he used to be in the rap game back in the day. Child, whatever. JJ comes in trying to hype Glenn up. And so while they're in the studio, and this is where I say the BS comes in. While they're in a studio, a random call comes in and Glenn's phone, and he answers the phone, and he pretty much says that they just told him they had to rush his grandmother to the hospital. This happens while they're conveniently taping the show. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think it was a reenactment. Like, it was like them saying, okay, we know this about your grandmother, and scene. Let's pretend like the actual call came in at this time. It just wasn't believable. And instead of him going straight to the hospital to see his grandmother or wherever she was, he goes straight to Letitia, who just so happened to be makeup down, hair flawless, everything else. And literally, he sits there and tells Letitia, that the grandmother is sick and had to be rushed to the hospital. Okay. And so Letitia calls the sister and all of that stuff. Glenn starts crying. Now, mind you, again, I don't think his grandmother being sick is fake. I just think he's fake, and these scenes were fake, because he starts crying. Damn it, I don't see one tear. And he's like, oh man, I just lost my uncle too, man. Like, I can't go through this. And then all of a sudden he's like, you gonna ride with me? You gonna ride with me? Huh? Huh? What? I thought you was just crying, bruh. I thought you was just crying. It was literally like, oh no, no, I can't go through this. You gonna ride with me, Letitia? All right, bet, let's go. It just wasn't fake. I mean, it was just fake to me. It wasn't a genuine scene. Yeah, and so with that being said, the episode goes off. Honestly, I think this was a filler episode. It just didn't move me in any way, and it seemed like there was a lot of fake acting with people who clearly aren't professionals. I could see right through it. Like, if you're going to give us some fake scenes, some filler scenes, just let it be believable. And in this case, it wasn't believable. But with that being said, I would say, I don't know, out of an A to an F, I would say this episode was like a C minus. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but at the same time, it wasn't the best either. But hell, is better than the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'll tell you that much. But anywho, what do you guys think about this episode? Did you get the same vibes I was getting? What did you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put your comments below, and I will see you on the next video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Toodles.